and some fun stuff in there. So let's get started. For props, you may want to have a couple of blocks or books handy, and that's probably all you'll need. As you find your comfortable seated position, finding your sit bones directly beneath your pelvis and your heart above your pelvis, shoulders down and relaxed, lined up with your hip joints from the side, and your ear, shoulder, hip in a line. Muscles of your face are relaxed, and as you lengthen through the torso, you'll draw your belly in and reach the crown of the head to the sky. Start to soften your gaze or close the eyes. Begin to observe the landscape of your mind and your body. And without judgment, note those areas that need your extra love and care in class and beyond. We'll continue this month with a mindset of gratitude. So pull up into your mind, into your heart, 3 areas or items that you're grateful for, either that have already happened or are going to happen as you manifest it. Use 1 breath for each item you're focusing on with your gratitude. And with each of those 3 breaths, give it life and love. Staying in tune with the present moment, 1 breath at a time. And feeling that sense of gratitude with hands at heart center and chin drawn down and in, lengthening the back of your neck. Bring your head back to neutral and softly open your eyes. Release the hands down beside you. Take your right arm straight out to the side, palm facing down. And as you keep the left shoulder relaxed, allow your left shoulder or left ear to drop towards your left shoulder. With our arm out to the side, you may feel a different sensations than with it on the floor. So just become aware of that. And then reach the fingers toward the sky, palm towards that side wall like you're doing stop hand sign, and notice how that shifts and changes the stretch. Deep, full breaths wherever you notice tension, resistance. Use your breath as a gauge. It starts to become more shallow or you're holding it. Probably a sign there's some anxiety or tension there. Palm to the sky. Reach the right hand to the sky. Walk the left hand out, relaxing the shoulder and elbow as you reach across. So free to gaze down. So if you notice that change in your breath, remember that you have control of your breath. So harness once more that full deep breath. The body and the mind will follow. Keep that right sit bone planted. And as you come back up, we'll just take that right hand to the outside of your left thigh and bring the left hand behind you. As you inhale, you'll lengthen. And exhale, twisting to the left, holding the pose, still breathing. Inhale, come back to center, hands by your side. Reach the left arm straight out and the right ear drops to the right shoulder. Become aware of how habits of your day, the side you use most often, can affect what you notice in these poses and stretches. And then bending at the wrist, fingers to the sky, continue to keep that right shoulder relaxed. You may notice some tingling. And then wrist straight, palm to the sky. Walk the right hand out and reach up and over with the left. Powerful reaching from fingertips to left sit bone, right shoulder relaxed. Increasing the space between your ribs with each inhalation. Inhale back to center, release the left hand outside the right knee and the right hand behind you. Drawing the shoulders down and back as you inhale and lengthen. Exhale, gently twisting to the right. Keeping this as not just a twist, but a bit of a heart opener. With the collarbones broad, shoulders down and back. Inhale back to front and exhale, release. Roll the shoulders up and back a couple of times. And make your way into hands and knees. You know I love my cat-cows and side to side, so move through your spine with your breath in the style and way that you'd like. And then make your way back to neutral. Moving into child's pose, untuck the toes and bring the big toes together. If you need a bolster at the knee creases, find that. We're going to keep the hands out in front and slowly release our seat towards our feet. Tucking the chin, head to the mat. After a couple of breaths there, maybe walk the hands a little farther away. Try to draw the shoulders back down into their sockets. And feel a stretch along the outer upper arms and into the upper back. Begin to lift the head just a tiny bit and walk the hands over to the right as far as they'll go while keeping that left sit bone where it was. And breathe. Keep drawing the pelvic rim on the left side away from the bottom rib. From there, just start to roll up onto your heels in a seated position and take the hands to the right, one at the floor, one at your leg, and gently twist to the right. Come back to center. Use your hands if you'd like to come back to child's pose. Walk the fingers out. Release the head down. And then walk the hands over to the left. Bring your awareness to that right side. From the pinky along the outer arm, the outer shoulder, the upper back, through the ribs, along the obliques to the pelvic rim. Slowly roll it up so you're sitting on your block or heels. And with both hands to the left, gently twisting to the left. Inhale back to center. Take the hands in front and come back to hands and knees. Maybe a couple more cat cows just to neutralize the spine. And then find your neutral position. We'll begin with some kind of twist, but we won't be settling down the first few times. So you'll just kind of follow along with my words. We'll start on the right side. So as you inhale, lift the right hand up and we'll stay there for just a couple breaths this first time. As you exhale, take it behind your left wrist. But again, we're not going to release to the mat. We're just pulling through. Inhale, reach up again. So arm comes back to the sky. And exhale, reach it through without touching. Inhale, press to the left, reach up with the right. And exhale all the way through. Inhale one more time, reach up with the right. And this time as you exhale, you certainly can bring the shoulder inside of your head to the mat. Walking the left hand out in front and breathing. Slide the left hand back and press through it as you come back to hands and knees. Take a moment there. This time, inhale that same right arm up. Exhale it to the mat. Take the right leg back and bring it over slightly to the left, just maybe outside and beyond your left foot. And then this time, as you inhale, you're going to roll to the bottom of that right foot, reach the right arm up, and then over for a nice stretch along that right side, all the way down to your ankle. Inhale, hand to the sky, and exhale, hands and knees. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So remember, the first few times we won't be resting our shoulder to the mat. Inhale, begin reaching the left hand to the sky and pause there this first time. Still breathing though. One more inhale. Exhale, slide it behind the right wrist, but not releasing to the floor. Inhale, reaching it up to the sky, gazing there if you'd like. Exhale, reaching through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach through. And one more time, inhale, reach up. And this time, exhale as you pass it through. You can release your shoulder and side of your head to the mat, walking right arm forward if you'd like. Breathe into the space around the left shoulder blade, the outer shoulder. Draw the belly in. Take the right hand back underneath the right shoulder and press up, inhaling right or left hand to the sky and to the mat. Extend the left leg back and cross it just beyond and outside the right foot. Start to roll over to the side, pressing into the sole of the foot as the left hand reaches up and over, breathing down the left side of your body. Inhale, reach the left hand high, and exhale back to hands and knees position. And then we're just going to tuck the toes under. Pause here for a moment, lift the knees, and move into your first downward facing dog, modifying as needed. Maybe walking it out. As you settle into a static downward facing dog for a moment, the knees can still be bent and heels can be up, but you may enjoy just bringing the hips way over to the right for a moment. And then back to center and over to the other side. Notice where you feel it. We could all feel it in different spots just because of what we've done in our day or our whole life. Come back to center and then start to slowly walk the feet forward. Feet will stay hip width apart for a soft forward bend. And this is where a block could come in handy as you place the hands on the block, but they certainly can be on the floor, and either direction would be fine. We're going into a standing half twist. So we'll start with our right hand. So right knee's going to bend. Heel could even be off the floor. As you inhale, reach the right hand to the sky. Hold it there and breathe. Draw the left shoulder away from the left ear and belly in. One more inhale there. Exhale, bring the right hand down. Soften the right knee and inhale, reach the left arm up. Breathe and hold. Lengthening the neck, keeping it in line with the spine, not just completely heavy. One more inhale, exhale to the mat. Soften into your forward fold, head heavy. Circle out the wrists. And you can move the block out of the way a little bit as you slowly draw the belly in and roll it all the way up safely to standing. Finding your Tadasana. Take a moment, let your body get used to standing. Weight bearing through the feet, the energy of the legs, the neutrality of your pelvis, and the openness of your heart. So you could use a wall in front or beside you, a chair. Just really good focus on a spot in front of you as you allow the right foot and thigh to float off the mat. I'm already losing it. Okay, let me start that over. Okay. From there, you can just keep the hands down. They could be at the waist, or you can take hold just below the knee. Draw the knee in for a moment. And then with elbows straight, still holding on. You could stay right here, or you could take that right arm and reach it straight back behind you. Palm facing to the right. You could also gaze back towards the thumb, or I sometimes like to take my hand at the sacrum. That gives a nice openness of the chest, and breathe. Inhale, gaze back to the front. And you can touch the foot down first if you'd like. We're going into a lunge, or from it in the air. Take the hands to the waist and step way back with the right foot. Wiggle the toes back, feel solid, and then release the knee to the mat. Untuck the toes. Check that knee is over ankle, and on your next inhale, interlace the fingers behind your back. Draw the hands down to the floor first, and then press the base of your palms together. Lift the arms off your body if you can and would like to, slightly lifting the gaze and heart. Take another inhale here, and then exhale, bring hands to heart center. We'll move into a spinal twist to the left. So this could be certainly with just your hands, or hands can stay at the heart. And as you exhale, the elbow comes outside the thigh as you lift your heart center up towards the thumbs and take your neck with it. Remember to push the left thigh into the elbow to keep the knee tap facing towards the short edge of your mat. And then as you inhale, come back to center. Slightly different variation of a twist this time. You won't be able to see me as well on this side, but perhaps you can follow along. I'm going to turn slightly to my left and bring my left hand to the floor, kind of in line with my left hip. It can be on fingertips to start. And then my right hand, I'm going to bring over, trying to bring my armpit outside the right knee. Fingertips, this could be a block, could be helpful here, also to the floor. And just notice what that feels like, where you feel it. Don't worry if your hands don't make it to the floor. They could be on a wall in front of you. And like I said, they could be on blocks or books. Take a couple more breaths there, just feeling what you need to do to make it work for your body today. I can't really see you, so hopefully you're doing okay over there. Okay, walk the hands back over and the hands back to heart. You could stay with that same twist if you'd like, or follow along with me, stop anywhere along the way. Right hand to the floor. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Start to roll to the outer edge of your left foot and to the right foot as you lift the right leg off the mat and bring the arm over. As you exhale, you just make cactus arm. Hip is going to drop toward the floor without touching. Inhale, reach up and over again. Exhale, elbow bends, hip drops. Inhale, reach up and over. And exhale, hip goes lower. One more time, inhale, reach up. And then exhale, pivot back to the front. And you can step it back to downward facing dog. Few breaths here. You can play with foot position, taking it closer to the hands to emphasize hamstrings, or farther than your usual downward dog to emphasize calves. On your next inhale, begin to walk the feet forward again. And then with them hip width apart, release to your gentle forward fold. You can stay how you are. I'm just going to turn so you can see me if you need to for our next standing twist. So this time I'm going to take my left fingertips between my toes, my left elbow inside the left knee. I can still be on a block. And as I inhale, reach up with the right hand. Careful that the right knee doesn't splay. Keep it straight ahead. And breathe into your twist here. Take one more inhale there. Exhale, release that hand down. Change position. So now right elbow on the inside of the right knee, pushing the knee in to keep it straight. Left knee where it is, reaching up with the left arm and breathing. You can drop the hips if you want more of a thigh and glute workout. Next exhale, release to your forward fold. I'll turn back around and we will roll it slowly up to standing. And find your Tadasana. Before repeating on the other side, I'm going to do a little bit with our standing twist here. So as you inhale, bring both arms up overhead. And as you exhale, keep the pelvis forward, but open the arms out to the right, palms facing to the right. Head can turn gently. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. So I'm trying not to twist my pelvis. I'm just turning my back. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. One more time each way. And then inhale back to center. And exhale, release the hands down. So we're going to shift our weight into the right foot. And when you have your focus, you can let that left thigh float up. And if you'd like to, take hold of the knee and squeeze it in gently. Still holding on to the knee, you can straighten the elbows. You can stay here or reach the left hand behind you, or take it to the sacrum. Gaze can stay forward or turn to the left. Inhale, head back to center. Foot can come down first or step directly into your lunge, wiggling the left toes back and then releasing the knee down. As you untuck the toes, take the hands behind your back and release the other finger on top. Straight through the elbows, draw the shoulder blades closer as the arms lift away. Shift your hips forward and lengthen the tailbone. Bring the hands to your heart center, preparing for that spinal twist, either using your hands or elbow outside the knee, lifting your chest off of the thigh and breathing. Muscles of your face are soft. Back top of your foot pressing firmly into the earth. And inhale, come back to center. Release the hands down for a moment if you'd like. And then we have our next option. So instead of bringing the hands to heart and twisting, if you'd like to, for a change, your right hand will go to the floor beyond and near your hip. Left arm will come over, shoulder, rather the armpit as close as you can beyond the knee, outside of that knee joint. And then you'll feel an interesting stretch here. I'm up on my fingertips. You could be on a block. And breathe into that left outer shoulder. I feel it in different places on this side, and I think it's because of the things I do every day. Different stuff on different sides. And then you can turn back to center. And with the left hand planted first, just inhale up and exhale down. Tuck the toes under and lift the knee. Inhale, reach up. Stay here or start to rotate to the outer blades of each foot as the hip comes down, elbow bends. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, hip drops, elbow bends. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, down. And one more time. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, close to the mat. Rotate back to the ball of your back foot. And once more, step to downward facing dog. And then lower the knees. Take a moment in child's pose of your choice. Okay, so from your child's pose, if you're ready to continue, we're going to go into pigeon pose with a twist. Again, if this pigeon pose doesn't work for you, you can certainly come into seated version or on the mat on your back. figure four. So we'll come into downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. And then bring the knee forward, ankle is bent, knee over to the right. Wiggle the left side back. Keep the left leg straight behind you. And you can come to forearms if you'd like. You certainly don't have to go into this twist version. You can stay in a regular pigeon figure four seated version. But if you would like to try it, you may like one side more than the other. So you can bring your right upper arm to the floor, right shoulder to the floor. My hands are in prayer pose. As I lift my chest towards it, it's hard for you to see that, of course, on this side. Another option, which is going to be a little bit more intense for most of us, is to go to the other side, bringing my left upper arm and shoulder to the mat. Hands come into a twist. And again, try to keep your head in line with the spine, not hanging too heavy or up too high. Pressing into that outer upper arm to give it some energy. So anywhere you want to be with this stretch, and you may want to return to it this evening, if it's not already evening for you, and hold it a little longer. And come back to center. And then begin lifting up. Take the left toes under, step back to downward dog. If you need to go on a little tabletop bridge or lift that right leg up, open up that side a moment. You can do that. And then we'll move into the other side. So left leg up, knee forward, ankle bent, knee to the left, side of my lower leg on the floor, side of my left foot on the floor, sliding my right leg back. When you're ready, you can come a little lower. And maybe just stay here in that neutral position, but knowing you have an option to twist to either side. That's going to be too far from the left. If you're not already back to neutral position, go ahead and make your way there. Walk the hands in. And then if you want to release the hips, you know your choices here. And bring the foot back to the mat. And then lower your knees, cross the ankles, take yourself to a seated position. I'll just turn towards you. We've done this pose before. Well, we've done the pose in a moment that I'm going to do it before. But this first one is a little another kind of funky play on a seated twist. So I'll turn sideways again for this one. And these are bent feet on the floor, up tall through the spine, belly drawn in. And take the right hand to the right, outside the right hip, outside my mat, depends on how wide your mat is. And then the left arm is going to come over as well. And as I press my upper arm, my tricep into my thigh and my thigh against my arm, that gives me a little bit more length. And I can turn my head slightly. Breathe. And then inhale, gaze back to the front. Take a moment in center. I'll do the same thing other side. So left hand outside the left hip, right armpit comes over to the outside of my right, or my left thigh rather. And then I press through the hands or fingertips to lengthen, and then turn my gaze and shoulders. Inhale, gaze back to the front, and exhale, release. Cow face pose, starting in the same way. If you need to, you can do this with left leg straight. Otherwise, it's going to go behind the right heel and over near the right hip. Sit up tall. This leg will cross over and make its way around, trying to stack the knees. I'm inside my feet. Like I said, the bottom leg could certainly be straight, kneecap and toes to the sky. And take a moment here, settling down through both sit bones. If this knee doesn't want to relax, you can support it with your hands. If you have enough support to let go with your hands, then you can move into adding the shoulder component of this pose by right arm up and over, left hand behind, and up. Hands connect either directly to each other or via a strap, a scarf, or a belt. And as I try to move that right elbow behind my head, I also try to press the back of my head into that elbow crease to help open my heart. Work on this over time. It's definitely a powerful and intense stretch for some of us on that anterior shoulder that's low. So in this case, my left. Right triceps getting it. But if you can work on it and gradually make your way slowly more and more deep, it can really help keep that important range of motion through your shoulders. And then gently release the hands to the knees for a moment to notice. Close your eyes. Eyes open. We'll uncross the legs, come back to that starting position. Decide if you need the right leg to just simply be straight on the floor or not. If not, it comes around and over. Left knee comes around and knee on top. Make room for your seat to sit. Take a moment to see what needs support, where you can relax. If you'd like to add the shoulder component, this time the right arm will be the one coming from below and the left arm from above, and breathe. And then gently release the hands back to your knee. Close your eyes and notice. Eyes open. One fun new stretch for some of you probably. For this one, we need to come to our stomach. If you want to watch me first, totally fine. Once on your stomach, the tops of the feet down, arms will be in cactus arm position. I'm keeping my head off the mat because I'm going to go into this with you a little faster so you don't have to hold it for too long. Left arm will stay just like it is. Right elbow's gonna be up, hand on the mat near my shoulder. And as I flatten my left front shoulder and upper arm down, I'm gonna push into my right hand and create a little bit of a lifting of my chest, opening to the right. For some of us, that's enough. If you need more, bend that right knee, lift it up, and place the right foot behind your left leg on the floor, and wow, you'll feel that a bit. Careful with your neck, just do what you need. You could also support it with a pillow if you wanted to stay here longer sometime. After your 5 breaths, you can just roll it back. Return to cactus arms on the floor. So you may not have even had time to do that side, so I'll walk you through it once more. You're in cactus arm position. Left arm stays where it is. Slide to your right hand. Start to flatten the front of your left shoulder into the mat as you open up your right to the right. So your chest is pretty much off the floor. You can slide your hand in for a deeper and more intense stretch. If you need even more, remember to bend that right knee. You can place that foot on the leg or behind the leg. And oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna let you stay there up to 5 breaths. When you're finished, you can cross your arms and just rest your head on your forehead on forearms. If you're ready for the other side, we'll go ahead and get started. So back to cactus arms. This time, right arm will stay where it is. Left hand will slide in, elbow to the sky. Push into the left hand, flatten through my inner upper right arm, and then start to lift off the mat. You can stay right there or bring the left foot behind my right leg and breathe. After your 5 breaths, you can roll back over, rest your forehead on your forearms. It's a powerful one. Just be careful you don't push too far if you're new to it. But you can always repeat a couple of times on each side to get a little deeper each time. Slide your hands back underneath the shoulder. Slowly lift yourself up and back. Take a moment in child's pose. Roll up onto your heels and feet. Scoot the heels out of the way. We're going to be coming onto our back with the option of a supported bridge. So if you have a block or book nearby, make sure you can reach that. Do an unsupported bridge as well. And slowly make your way all the way down to the mat. So feet will be hip width apart and the heels close to your glutes. If you're going to do supported, go ahead and take hold of your block. Flatten the lower back. So you tilt the pelvis back. Begin lifting the hips and the low back. Knees stay in line with hips. And you can start with the block the short way at your sacrum. And that gives you a chance to get those shoulder blades closer together, keep the chin away from the chest, and plant through the inner 2 corners of each foot. If you want to go a little higher, just take the block. You may need to lift the heels to get a little higher initially, finding that spot at your sacrum, and then releasing again into the pose. Try not to let the legs get too lazy here. So spiral the inner thighs toward the floor. And soften your gaze or close your eyes. Some of you may know some variations. If you want to lift the legs up, shouldn't do this just for the first time, but you can make it more of an inversion by lifting the soles of the feet to the sky, keeping some weight into the back of the head so that you're not just rounding the neck and compressing the upper spine. So you could stay here as long as you like, but I'm going to move us on into Shavasana. So lift up to get the block out of the way if you're using one. Slowly come down. If you need any final poses or stretches, go ahead and take that now. I'm going to bring these to chest and rock it out a little bit. And then begin to find your Shavasana. Take a moment here really bring your awareness to a couple of places that we focused on today. First, to your torso, the muscles in front of, the side, and near your spine. Through the rib cage, notice there seems to be a little bit less tension, more space. More space between the vertebrae, maybe more energy circulating through the torso. Bring your awareness up to the heart. And feel that energy of your heart. You may feel a little bit more active. You feel like it's open a little bit more from nice stretches we did for the upper pec muscles, the upper respiratory muscles. So notice how that feels. Front of the shoulders, down the arms into the hands. And then just let your breath find a relaxing and smooth pace, no longer trying to control it as your body becomes heavier. You sink into the support of your mat, bolster, blankets. You can always mute me and unmute me when you're ready to get out of your Shavasana. A longer Shavasana is fantastic. To come out of your Shavasana, make sure you feel your belly expand with a deep breath. Your chest expand, the back of the shoulders press into the earth, lifting your collarbones farther away from your pelvis. Exhale, let everything sink back to the mat. Wiggle fingers and toes. Move your eyes behind your eyelids. Raise your eyebrows. Relax them. Move your lips, tongue. Maybe move your creases of your lips up into a smile. And head side to side. Begin to bend the knees, walk the feet in. Reach overhead and stretch. Bend the elbows. Scoot your hips over and roll to one side. And then press back up to your seated position. With your aligned spine, bring awareness back to gratitude. What are you grateful for? Happened or yet to happen? If you'd like to, bring palms together at heart center. leading with a grateful heart. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.